All fine and good. They scored 39 points in the fourth quarter the other night, Quinn, but they were in a 16-point hole. And now deep in the shot clock, here is a three, and it's good by Paul George.
And a tough three, too, because his defenders...
Tonight, the Pacers 20 turnovers. Milwaukee scored 35 points off those, so the slope...
Those are kind of... That's almost an air ball.
Oh, Caldwell Pope got away with...
Try to get a lot of block shots. I think they encourage him to be more of a guy who just...
On a bench. George cut off by Marcus Morris, and now Miles for three.
But Paul is playing as their number one offensive rebounding team.
Here's Paul George.
That's a foul. That's three shots.
And it's on Jennings. Yeah, by rebound percentage, Quinn, you're right. They're number one. 47.5 rebounds per game. Their margin is plus 3.5.
Now, Paul does a good job getting in the path, and you see what he did to Jennings is Jennings couldn't stop. So as Paul went up, there's nowhere for him to come down, and Jennings fouled.
So 3 free throws for Paul George, 83% free throw shooter. He's 7th in the league in scoring at 24.5 points per game. So after a slow Indiana start, they trailed early 6-0. They've outscored Detroit 21-12 as Stan Van Gundy in his second season as the Pistons head coach, his 10th year overall. He's had great success in Orlando and Miami, and in much better a frame of mind than he was a year ago at this time. As they entered 2016, Quinn, they were 8-23. Pacers, for that matter, were 12-21. Both of these teams have really turned it around here. Step back by Ilyasova, short.
Well challenged that time. Another time.
Jennings is a capable three-point shooter. And Paul, draft pick with Golden State's, played in Milwaukee. He was a teammate with Ersan Ilyasova.
We'll take that. Welcome to Indianapolis for the game. Thanks so much for having me. Appreciate it.
In front of him, if they're going to leave him by himself, just walk him down into the post.
Morris comes to help. Here's Hill for three.
Well, that's why if you take your time, you force them to make a decision. They decided to come to help on George.
Attempt of the night. In the last 7 games, he's shooting 50%. Here's Caldwell Pope in the corner, no good.
See, all of these shots.
Straight Indiana points. Make it 8 straight. They were down 50-48. Here's George to the rim.
Fouled by Morris. Nice job keeping, making sure that there was no easy shot taken on one end. George steps into a three. A very good three-point shooter, but the patience of Paul George to take it down in the post, read where the defense is coming from, find the open shooter.
That was a three-point shot for George Hill on the year, his 54th of the year. And for every three-point shot he makes this year, Indiana Members Credit Union donates 3 backpacks to Backpack Attack. For more information, it's Indy Backpack Attack. Dottie Allen grabs another rebound. 7 of them for Allen as George is fouled. And the penalty in effect. That's the 5th team foul against the Pistons here in the quarter as rookie Stanley Johnson is in. 6'7" out of Arizona, taken 8 by the Pistons back in June. Averaging about 8 points off the bench. 3 of 5 at the free throw line tonight for Paul George.
Yeah, and he did a good job in that particular offensive possession by attacking early. And Johnson really didn't have any help, and that's why he got exposed and had to foul Paul.
Rodney Stuckey is in for the Pacers, so Frank Vogel make Detroit just...
Drummond. Drummond doesn't want to leave the paint. That's the thing you know. That's why if you get a chance to run a pick and roll with him. And
Ellis. They were teammates in Milwaukee, and that's blocked by Drummond, but Paul George pounds it home.
You see right there, putting pressure on the defense is Monte Ellis, and on the strong follow was Paul George. Because he just stays active. Just keep yourself in the play. Stay aggressive. Move. Took advantage of the reach.
Jennings sits back on the floor, uses a Drummond screen. Now Paul George will continue his Caldwell Pope.
Oh boy.
And that's a foul.
Sure did.
Yeah, you're right. You know, they'll let you catch it, bobble it, and then dribble it again. It sure looked like he might have dribbled it.
Well, he dribbled it to get control of it, and he got away with it. I mean, he gets this ball, watch. See, he got control of that with a dribble.
Pacers just missed 2 free throws. 4:47 to play. Both these teams have identical home records. Indiana and Detroit both 11-5. Pistons 7-10 on the road. They've lost 2 straight After winning 3 straight, Indiana hits the road on Monday. In Miami, they're 7 and 9 on the road. Both free.
I agree, but I think it's been a lot of just aggressive play by the Pacers.
Jackson has to create a shot, and they get the rebound. That was C.J. Miles pushing it up. Paul George against Ilyasova. Lays it in!
Great job of attacking. And that was enough to make Stan Van Gundy call a timeout because he basically gets that off the glass and just pushed it and forced the reaction or lack of reaction by the Detroit Pistons.
Fans love it. 6th sellout of the year. The Pacers have been very successful at home over the years. 26 straight seasons with a home winning record. Paul George trying to keep that alive. Indiana by 6.
You know, North, NFC North, this is the black and blue division. You know, same thing with hockey, whatever division you want to talk about where they are really aggressive. This is it.
Big time. Contavious Caldwell Pope. He has 14. George off a screen again for another 3.
Yeah, he knew it right away, too, because he let it go and started turning. Not like he was going back. He's playing like it, too. I mean, and Marcus Morris is trying to get out to Paul George, but he can't get out to him in time. Then they set a screen. Morris there again. There's not much he could do.
Well, let's check division rival after losing to Chicago and Milwaukee. Here's another jumper by George.
He's feeling it.
Boy, is he feeling it.
Oh, no, he's feeling it because that one came off his hand.
Really tipped in by Miles.
He was trying to initially tip it away from Ilyasova. Pause. That's a heat check. That is a heat check. Wow! That is a heat check for sure.
Feel-good moment for PG, who'd been struggling all night. He has the last 15 for the blue and gold.
Well, that's a feel-good moment, not only for PG. That's for Pacer fans. When you come down in transition and light up a 3 like that, that's money. I mean, right here, he just waits till he gets to the line, and this is nothing but bottom.
26 points, 13 rebounds for George. The 13 rebounds are a season high. This is his 9th double-double of the year. And Quinn,
as we saw him throughout most of the first quarter of the season,
a monster 4th quarter for PG, and he's been electric here in the final moments. He scored the last 15 for the blue and gold. You knew he was feeling good on that fadeaway. Here's his 3rd 3 of the quarter. Miles Turner loved it. The 18th handed to Jonathan Bender up in the Fox loft. He said, hey, I want my guy Paul George to take over. And take over he has. Quinn, this is a very important win for the Pacers.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's George again.
Yeah, it's a huge win. It's huge to see Paul George do what he's doing, but it's huge for the Pacers.
And so Paul George will add to his point total, 30 points, 14 rebounds, and he has this sellout crowd buzzing. 20 straight.
You look at it, it's an impressive part. There's no doubt about it. It's very impressive.
And they needed it.
Needed badly. They needed it. He needed it. I mean, the team needed it, but Paul needed to have it go. You know that. I mean, Paul had it going. This is like, all right, don't come help. Take this. But you notice the other thing.